Sien van God, doen het nog een keer. Oh, Jesus, doen het weer. Oh, Jesus, doen het weer. Ja, hier die geslag moet
En ons sê vir u baie dankie vir die terugvoering wat u vir ons gee, nadat u saam met ons gekuier het op Jesus doen dit weer, saam met my, Andries Besuithout, en waar ons werklik vir die Here loof en prys vir dit wat hy doen. Elke dag in ons lewe het hy dit gedoen, hy doen dit nou en hy gaan dit doen tot die dag dat hy ons kom haal. En ek wil vir u vra, bly bidend vir ons, bly bidend vir die mensiese wat getuienisse lewer, vir die instansies wat ons ook onderhoude mee voer, wat werklik die Here nodig het. So, as jy nie iets anders kan doen nie, dan bid jy. Dan bid jy soos nog nooit van tevore. En ek wil vir u sê daar buite, ons het nodig om meer te bid as ooit tevore in die tyd wat ons lewe. So vandag kuier ons dan verder, saam met die suster van Little Angels, Tanya, baie dankie. Ek het nogal uitgesien, toe ek hulle kom, vir hulle eerste keer kom kuier het, so ons die vorige keer al gekom het, dan gebeur daar iets, en toe daar weer iets gebeur, en uiteindelik is ons hier. So Tanya, baie dankie. Dankie vir jou tyd. Vertel 'n bietjie vir die mense, wie is Tanya?
Hello everybody, I'm going to be speaking English. My Afrikaans is going to confuse you all. My name is Tanya de Jager. I'm the registered nurse and operations manager at Little Angels. I have been working at Little Angels now for 9 years. I have found my place in life. There's often times I think in life where do I have to go to work today? I can tell you for the past 9 years of my life, it's been exciting. It's been the place I want to get up and go to. This is my passion. I love this home. I love the staff. I love the children. I love everything about my job. That is me. I'm a mother. I've got 2 grown children. I'm married. My husband works far away from me. And that's who Tanya de Jager is.
Weet jy, ek moet vir julle sê, dit is nogal baie interessant, hierdie Tanya de Jager, sy seker de Jagger, weet, sy is ons Engels, maar sy vertel ons nou voor die opname, en ek moet dit met julle deel, sy is Afrikaans, groot geword, en sy het net in 'n woonbuurt gewoon, waar daar net Engelse kinders was, en ek kan nou nie amper sê ek die verkeerde woord, toe raak sy 'n soutie, né? Ek het amper iets anders gesê, so. Maar dit is interessant om te sien, hoe kom sy deur, en sy is 'n Kaapenaar gebore, maar hier kom sy met daai Engelse aksent deur, en eintlik is sy Afrikaner. Tanya, maar ek wil vir jou weer eens sê, ja, weet jy, soos ek vir Benita gesê het, met die vorige opname, ek het soveel respek, en medelee, wat is die regte woorde, wat ek vir julle het, vir wat julle doen. Ek weet, dat as ek as 'n pa en 'n oupa weet as een van die kinders of die kleinkinders nie lekker voel nie of bietjie oulik is, jou hande is afgekap, jy weet, en ek kan net dink, waardeur gaan julle met hierdie kindertjies? Vertel ons 'n bietjie daarvan.
Yeah, so the interesting part about our children is all our children are severe to profoundly disabled, both intellectually and physically. So ons kinders kan nie praat nie. Hulle kan nie sê, my maag is seer of my kop is seer nie. They actually cry. They don't verbalize. You see their little faces aren't right. Then you just realize that there is something wrong here. So you actually have to read into what's going on with these children. And often it's a process of elimination. So you know the child's dry. He's had a nappy change. You know he's been fed because he's just had his food or he's had his special milk formula. So you've got to start looking at what could be wrong with the child. So we have to think for the children, but the longer you work with these children, the more you learn about them and you know that, okay, this has got to do with the tummy sore. You can watch how their legs move. If their heads are sore, how they drop their heads. So we've actually just got to read into what's going on with the child, and you learn about your children. Ja.
Ek wil jou nou 'n ander ding vra is, baie min mense besef het miskien, maar jy is baie keer deur die nag word jy gebel.
Ja, so tot en met 2 maande gelede, I used to work all alone at Little Angels. I was the the manager, I was the registered nurse, I was the plumber, I was the electrician. So everything that happened at Little Angels, I did. And we used to get called at any time. The staff would let me know that a child's having a seizure, the seizure's carrying on too long, we've got to rush the child to hospital. So I'd have to leave home and go to the hospital, take the staff, take the child, change staff over. Now, I'm very grateful. And I thank the Lord for putting a wonderful registered nurse on our path. So we now have a registered nurse that's supporting me. So now I'm only on call every second week. So the other week that when Dalmain, my colleague, is on call, she is responsible for rushing children to hospital for any kind of medical emergency. It can be medical emergency, it can be they've cut their finger or anything serious that we can't deal with at home. We'd have to take the children to hospital. So yeah, load them in our van and rush them to hospital or call the ambulance service out. But if something happens after hours, we are responsible and we have to take the children ourselves, ja.
Ek wil jou vra, ek het geen kennis van die tipe ding wat julle doen nie, met sulke kindertjies nie. Maar ek kan aflei, baie van hulle kry seizures, nee, hulle kry aanvalle. Hoe gereeld gebeur dit?
So, most of our children are cerebral palsy. They've been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And our cerebral palsy is a damage to the brain. There's a damage to an area of the brain, and there can be various reasons for it. It can happen during birthing that the brain is damaged. It can happen after birth. So sections of the brain can be damaged that can have an impact on the child, on their movement, on their speech. So there's no communication from the brain to the hands, for example, from the brain to the tongue. They are diagnosed with cerebral palsy. When these damages to the brain happen, it can happen at certain areas of the brain that can cause epilepsy. So these children that have epilepsy, it's not a daily occurrence because our children are treated on medication. We've got a very strict protocol with medications. We give medications as prescribed by the doctors. And because they're on these medications, they don't really have that many seizures. But when they do have seizures, it can be bad. If a child is not well controlled on medication, it can happen with a new child that we try to get into the routine of being on proper medications to build up proper levels in the system. They can have breakthrough seizures quite regularly, like at least weekly or so. We have children that do get regular seizures, even though they are controlled on medication. And regular year would be once every 3 months. And that is regular because a seizure is not a normal thing to have. Medications should control it and keep it away. But as they grow, their medication needs increase. So they need more medication. So they're seen by the doctors every 6 months. And if the child's had too many medications, they increase the medication dosed. So we don't really have seizures every single day. It's rare, but we can have a child that can have a seizure once a month, once every 3 months. But the problem with the seizures are bad. It's not just, they don't just last for 30 seconds. Our children's seizures last for much longer. So any seizure that lasts for longer than 3 minutes becomes a medical emergency. The child has to be taken to hospital because the seizure is not stopping on its own. It's called self-aborting. So if a seizure self-aborts, it normally happens before 3 minutes. Thereafter, it carries on its own. Child has to be taken to hospital, and unfortunately the medication has to be used to terminate the seizure. And this has to be done under a doctor's supervision, yes. Then the children have to stay in hospital for an extended period of time, anything from 9 hours to 24 to 48 hours, until the doctors are happy that the child is stable. So as long as we're giving our medication at the home and we're sticking to the protocols and regimes that the doctors have prescribed, the children are okay.
Ek wil jou nou iets anders vra, en yes, ek kan net my indink, om elke dag daarmee te werk, dis 'n calling hoor. Jo, Tanya, ek ervaar dit net, en dis 'n massive calling wat jy het hoor, rarig. Daar's bitter min mense, ek het dit al baie gesê, ek het nou gesê, ons bid te min. Maar ons bid te min vir die mediese mense. Weet, vir mense wat instaan, soos Benita, wat werklik betrokke is, wat soveel tyd afstaan, wanneer word daar vir hulle gebid? Jy weet, ons bid vir mense wat siek is, en ons bid vir mense wat werk soek, en ons bid vir mense wat huweliksprobleme het, en ons doen berading vir huwelike, maar wanneer bid jy regtig vir instansies soos julle, vir mense soos julle? Jy weet, dit wys my net, ons bid te min, want as ons regtig bid, sal ons basies daai punte neerskryf en sê, wanneer laas het ons vir mediese personeel gebid? Ek weet, toe ek in die hospitaal gelê het, ek was 2 maande in die hospitaal met ons karongeluk, en waar die susters, of die verpleegsters, hoe jy hulle ook al wil noem, beklei het om basies my te kom was, omdat ek saamwerk, en waar die ander mense wat nou brombeere is, hulle nie wil doen nie.
Ja.
So, jy weet, jy moet ook jou deel doen, en wat julle doen is, ek kan my net indink, hoe probeer jy hierdie Caesar stop, en jy weet, jy kan dit nie doen nie, weet, dit alleen op sy eie, moet massive wees,
Ja.
en soos jy aan die begin gesê het, jy kan nie wag om werk toe te kom nie, jy weet, dit is jou liefde, dit is jou calling, en jy het gesê, jy het nou daarom daai hulp gekry, en dit is waaroor dit so belangrik is. Nou wil ek na daai punt toe beweeg is, wie en wat kan vir julle kom hulp wees, kom bystaan, werklik deur die dag. Baie mense sal sê, hulle het nie die finansies nie of iets, maar wat kan hulle doen om julle te help fisies?
Ons het let me go to English rather. We do have a volunteer program in place where you can come and volunteer at the home. And we normally take volunteering Monday to Friday because that is our busy time. And the volunteering, the people can assist with taking care of the children. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our daily routine now, but we've specifically got a little girl here that needs continuous care, but on her own. She doesn't function very well as part of a group. She thrives on individual attention, which is very difficult for our staff because we have 3 staff members that work with the children per day. Those 3 staff members have got groups of children that they look after. So each staff member, we call a mother of a group. So she has got 5 or 6 children to look after on a daily basis. Now this one little girl, she will destroy that one mother that's looking after 6 children. She'll destroy the whole running of that group of kids because she just wants attention for herself. If she doesn't get that attention, she just screams and screams and screams and screams. So that care worker then has to put all her concentration on the one little girl. So to have, for example, a volunteer come in and just work with that little girl Monday to Friday during the mornings, keep her busy, and also just take her, allow her to develop as she needs to develop for her condition, not being part of a group. That's great. So volunteers can come and help and assist with our daily running of our program Monday to Friday. That to me would be wonderful. But our volunteer program, what we do have to have is we have to have police clearance certificates in place. An SAPS name clearance certificate, which is a cheaper form to the police clearance. And that is just because our children are protected by the courts of South Africa and under the Child Care Act. Our children are vulnerable. We can't just have anybody walk in and exposed to anybody. So our kids have to be protected. We have to have name clearances in place. I often, if a volunteer wants to come and volunteer, I invite them to the home to come and see what we are about, to see them and, to let them meet the staff and let them meet the children and see if they will be interested. A lot of people think they have a heart for it, but unfortunately when they see our children, their hearts break. And it doesn't help if you come one day and you spend time with a child and then you withdraw because these children build bonds very quickly. So now you've been exposed to a child, the child's been exposed to you, the child's already built a bond with you. Now the next day you don't come back because this wasn't for you. It broke your heart. So we like volunteers that are going to come back. They're going to be consistent. They're always going to be there for the kids. Well, as long as they can be, but not for a day or 2 days. Build a relationship, yes. Build a relationship with the children and allow those children to have those relationships with you.
Tell us something about your day program. What time do you start? How does it work?
Okay, so Little Angels is a residential care facility. We operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So we have got staff that run the home 24 hours a day. I'm going to start in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So the day shift start, they come on duty, and the first thing that they do is they give our children breakfast. They have porridges. They have a porridge, and then they have their teeth brushed and their faces cleaned, getting ready for the school day. Our school day starts with a school program. Introduction to the day is called Morning Ring. In Morning Ring, every child is greeted individually. There's a song that is sung, and the children are exposed to the weather of the day. They're actually taken to the window, 2 or 3 children, and they're shown they're asked what is the weather, if it's a sunny day, if it's a windy day. Then they have to identify what the weather's like. They exposed to the days of the week. They're exposed to their senses every single morning. They have a Bible reading in the morning, and they have a prayer, and then they sing songs. That is the end of Morning Ring. At 9 o'clock, the staff have their tea time. They sit and have tea for half an hour. After tea time, the children are taken for nappy changes, and they're also given snack in the morning. So they're given yogurt or a muffin or something. Then at about 10:30, 11:15, the school program starts. So we've got a school program that we run, and it's run in conjunction with the Department of Basic Education. They've actually drawn up a program, and there's a group called ALSPID, they Learners for Severe to Profound Intellectual Disability. It's a team that draws up a learning program for our children. Our staff are, every term they go on training to get taught how to present the program to the children. The children have this program is run on a term basis. It's run according to a theme, and there's a topic for the theme. And this gets presented every single day to the children, Monday to Friday, as if the children were going to school. Because our children are disabled intellectually, it doesn't mean they can't learn. It doesn't mean that they don't want and need stimulation. So this is what this program does. It gives them that stimulation. It gives them value to their day. Everything that is done in the program is very much geared at children with intellectual disabilities. Now, because our children are physically disabled as well, the staff work with the children, work with their hands. They will show the things practically. If there's any painting, for example, to be done, a staff member will hold a child's hand, and we call it hand-over-hand technique, and actually do the thing for the child, but let the child feel that he is doing the activity themselves. School program ends at 12 o'clock, then the children have lunch. Once they've had lunch, they are put into bed, they have a rest, because they've been sitting in the wheelchair the whole morning now. Then they have a rest for an hour and a half. At 2 o'clock, the children are lifted up again in the afternoon, and they have physical therapy. A physical therapy program will involve specific therapies that have been worked out specifically for a child, or just stretching exercises to loosen the children's muscles so that they don't contract further. Because our children with cerebral palsy, they have a condition that's related to the cerebral palsy where they contract, their muscles pull stiff because they're not walking around like us, they're not getting the physical exercise like us. So we have to loosen the muscles for them. So they have physical therapy in the afternoons. Then at about 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, the children are bathed again. And then at 5 o'clock, they have their supper. Between 5 and 7, the staff will sing, read stories to the children, just massage their feet, just to quiet the exercises before the night staff arrive. The night staff arrive at about 7. There's handover between the staff, and then the night staff take over their work. So then just after 7, the children will have snack again. So our children are well fed. They get the 3 square meals a day, and then they also get snacks in between. The children are then made ready for bed at about 8 o'clock. By 8:30, the kids are in bed. At night staff, the staff have to check up on the children continuously during the night, turn them every 2 hours, and then about 5:30 in the morning, the day starts for the children. So they have a very early start, where they are washed again, nappies are changed, they're dressed, and they put in their wheelchairs ready for day shift. So it's a 24-hour cycle that keeps going day in and day out, caring for our children.
Tanya, vertel my gou 'n ander ding. jou nagskofpersoneel ruil hulle 1 week dag, 1 week nag of hoe werk julle?
No, so our staff work hospital shifts. So we have 2 teams that run. So a day shift has their own night shift, and then they work 2 alternating shifts. So, for example, the shift that works today will have a night shift that will work for them tonight, and then they'll work tomorrow with their own night shift. Then it changes over the next day. When it's a weekend shift, I have the same day shift and the same night shift. So they work hospital shifts against each other. So as long as that we are covered 24/7 every day.
En nou, ander ding, kom ons sê nou, een van die personeel kan nie opdaag nie as gevolg van 'n probleem. Het julle 'n bystandpersoon?
Yeah, so we've got relief care workers. We're very blessed with 4 wonderful relief care workers that help out all the time. So if a staff member goes on leave, we'll get a relief care worker in. If somebody's off sick, we'll get a relief care worker in. Somebody's on maternity leave, we'll get a relief care worker to cover for us. So we've got 4 wonderful ladies that we can rely on for relief care working.
Ek dink net, jy weet, as ek nou so na jou luister, dan besef ons net dat, jy weet, hierdie mensies moet fisies gevoer word. Dit moet alles vir hulle gedoen word, want hulle kan niks vir hulle self doen nie. Jy weet, dit gaan baie verder as net 'n inrigting waar daar persoon is, miskien met Down syndroom of so iets. Hulle kan niks vir hulle self doen nie. En lekkernye, as iemand vir julle lekkernye wil bring, wat se lekkernye is dit?
Okay, so because our children are disabled, it's very difficult to give them your standard thingies that you would give to neurotypical children. So our children, there are some of them, there are about 7 children that can eat chips, but we only give them things like flings, cheese curls, chips that are easily dissolvable, because hard chips can cause choking. Our children, because of their cerebral palsy as well, their throat muscles don't work like our throat muscles, so that has an impact on their swallowing. So chewing is an issue, to swallow is an issue, and if swallowing is a problem, choking is a big problem. So we don't give our children sweets, because there's chewing involved and there's swallowing involved, and we don't want to rush a child to hospital because a sweet is stuck in the throat. So if people want to donate lekker goed for the children, luxuries, then we say things like chips, cheese curls and flings, dissolvable chips, muffins, things like instant or ready-made custard, because that's nice, it's sweet, it's something our children don't get every day. So custard, yogurt. Yogurt is a big thing. Yogurt is a big part of our daily feeding in the home, and our kids love yogurt. That is such a treat to them. So often for snack time, our kids get yogurt, and they love the yogurt time. Yeah, Andres, you were saying about our children, that you know that our children have to be fed. Those children that can eat are all fed. I've got 2 children that can feed themselves, but the rest are fed. Then we've got a group of children that cannot take in anything orally. They can't eat. So they've got special feeding tubes. They've got tubes implanted directly into their tummies, and they get fed special feeds through these tubes. So they are not allowed to take anything orally. They may not have any water. They may not have any food. They can only eat through these feeding tubes. And these feeds have to be done every 3 to 4 hours. So yeah, there's that part of the job as well. We've got a few medical procedures that we have to do here. Even though we're a residential care facility, we are not a medical facility. We've got a child that can't wee-wee. She can't go to the toilet on her own, so she has to be catheterized every 3 to 4 hours to make sure that her bladder is drained. All of our children are nappies. They cannot use a toilet. So we've got 17 children that have to have nappies changed every 3 to 4 hours. None of our children can walk. They're all wheelchair bound. So we have to move them around from place to place. They can't do it for themselves. So it's not only just the fact that our children are unable to do things for themselves. We are their ability to do things for. We are their ability. We do everything for them to keep them going on a daily basis.
Ja, dit is vir my 'n eye-opener as jy hierna luister. Jy besef nie hierdie goed nie. Jy sien daai gestremde kind maar jy besef nie daar's van hulle wat jy nou vir my vertel het nie. Ja, dit is, nou dat ek jou amper 'n baie sensitiewe dingetjie vra, en dit is daar wat al hier gesterf het, as gevolg van hulle toestand?
Yes, and that is the sad part. We have lost children. We have lost children, and quite recently we've actually lost 2 children, which has been terrible. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And these children are part of your life. They are your child. I mean, it's you're caring for this child every single day, and then to lose a child, it's heartbreaking. And the sad thing, it's many of our children do not have family involvement. There is no family. Then you become that child's family. So it rips your heart to pieces when a child dies, but what makes the trauma even worse is when there is a family involved. Because not only is your heart breaking, you're actually seeing that family's heart breaking as well. I mean, you've done everything you can for the child. You don't expect this child to pass away, but the child passes away. And in dealing with that, it's traumatic. It's very, very traumatic for the staff. It's not something that just happens and you get over it and move on. It's a continuous recall every day, because you see something, you remember something. Oh, remember this little one used to do this. Oh, remember this one loved doing this. Oh, that song, she loved this song. It's traumatic. It's not a nice thing.
Ja, nee, ek sê vir jou, Tanya, julle laat ou weer diep dink. Ek sien ons tyd het uitgehardloop en ek wil vir jou baie dankie sê. Yes, mense, ek weet nie van u daar buite nie, maar ons besef nie waardeur ander mense elke dag gaan nie. Wat hulle doen nie, en die liefde wat hulle het vir sulke mensies nie. Dit is net awesome, en ek weet, hier waar ek sit, praat die Here duidelik met my, dat ons meer betrokke moet raak by Little Angels. Ek sê nie, ons het altyd die finansies nie, maar ons kan definitief meer betrokke raak, om dit ook makliker te maak vir die mense, vir die personeel, en waar ons kan. En ek glo dat, die wat ek nou mee praat, asseblief bid vir hierdie instansie. Kom besoek hulle as julle op vakansie is. Tanya se nommer gaan verskyn, al hulle inligting gaan verskyn, soos ons vroeër met Benita gepraat het. Kontak hulle, kom kuier vir hulle, kom sien wat het hulle nodig, kom sien wat doen hulle. So dit is my so belangrik, dat ons werklik hande vat sal saam met Little Angels sal hande vat, en dat ons werklik 'n pad saam met hulle sal stap. Ek wil vir u sê, baie dankie vir die saamkuier, Tanya, baie dankie. Dankie dat jy het gedink jy gaan nie baie praat, maar jy het baie gepraat. Maar dit is net 'n voorreg gewees, dat ons as kruiskyk hier kon wees, om vir julle werklik hierdie opname te kan doen. Ek weet, ek praat namens my, Rafkin en Megan, wat nou deel is van hierdie opname, dat dit laat ons net weer dink. Jy weet dat elke dag moet ons dankbaar wees vir wat ons het. Maar baie dankie vir wat jy doen, vir jou personeel, sê vir hulle, ons sê, die Here sien dit raak, regtig. Dit is nie maklik om te doen wat julle doen nie, en jy moet werklik geroep wees daarvoor. So ons wil vir julle sê, die Here seën julle in dit wat julle doen. Ons gaan nou groet tot 'n volgende keer. Ek gaan gou afsluit met 'n gebed, maar ek sê nou vir u, totsiens tot 'n volgende keer. Baie dankie. Abba Vader, baie dankie dat ons vanmôre weer eens net kan besef, Here, hoe groot is u. Here, dankie dat we can call upon the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Here, dat ons werklik vir u kan aanroep in die instansie as Little Angels, vir elke persoon, elke vrywilliger, Here. Here, elke persoon wat betrokke is hier, Here, dat u vir hulle sal lei, dat u vir hulle die energie sal gee, dat u vir hulle die krag sal gee, maar dat u ook vir hulle sal behoed en bewaar, Here. En dat hulle net sal gaan van krag tot krag, Here. En ons vra u, Here, dat u, Here, die leiding hier sal bly neem, soos u reeds doen, Here. En ons dankie daarvoor in Jesus naam. Amen.
O Jesus, doen dit weer. O Jesus, doen dit weer. Ja, hierdie geslag moet erken dat u regeer. Sien van God, doen het nog 'n keer. dit weer.